My name is Jay Fenichel. This lesson is in the sticking category, and we're going to talk about flams. Flams, of course, is one of the 4 feelings associated with sticking. We've already talked about single strokes, open rolls, closed rolls. Now we're going to talk about a flam. So what is a flam? A flam essentially in drumming is the idea of both limbs, usually your hands, coming down essentially at the same time. And I say essentially at the same time because you could essentially open or close a flam. Closing means the notes get much closer together. If the flam is completely closed, you're popping it or hitting it exactly at the same time. I would consider that a closed flam. Now that works great when you're on 2 different surfaces. If you're like, say, on a tom and a snare or something like that. You want to hit exactly in unison. As you open the flam, your sticks separate, so they're a little bit off from each other. Now that would be an open flam. You notice the lower stick is hitting first, and it's moving back and forth like that. Let's talk about flams just in and of themselves, and how to develop, say, speed with flams and all that. Now, if you notice, a good way to develop flams is essentially, one, by developing single strokes, because you want to have that kind of thing. If you just pop them together, that's technically flams. But of course, if you want that open sound, that's a little trickier. Now we got to talk about accents. So if I break a flam down by my hands, if you notice, back to the accent category, I have an upstroke with this hand and a downstroke with that hand. I do that at the same time. Upstroke plus a downstroke. And that switches my position. And if you practice that, you'll get alternating flams. So the way to get this fast is just practice down up with both of your hands until you have a good sense of how to get that. And then of course you play them opposite each other. When this hand comes down, this one comes up. And you'll get those alternating flams. Now if you really want to get them super fast, a couple of tricks. One trick is to do the push-pull. Now push-pull, again, something we talk about in the Drummer's Almanac classes, is the idea of tap rebound, where you drop the stick in the fulcrum, the stick pops back. If you notice I drop it, it pops back, but I leave my hand down, then gravity pulls it back to that position. Push it, so it pops, then pull it, and you get push, pull. Notice one motion with the wrist, 2 motions with the stick. Push, pull, push, pull. Notice the wrist comes once, the stick goes twice. And if I do that over and over again, you get like this one-handed roll thing. So I'm just doing one wrist motion, getting 2 hits with the stick. Same thing here. Now if I put those together, that gives me my super fast 16-note flams. So over here you can see that really work. So if you're here, and that's if you develop the push-pull, and that's really an accurate way to play alternating flams. Now another little trick that a teacher had shown me, actually a good friend of mine, he said you could actually do this rhythm where you do 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, or syncopated swinging 16 notes, so swinging doubles. So right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. And if you develop that and keep pushing it faster, it turns into flams if you get it fast. Now essentially what you end up doing is push pulling. That's what it turns into. But it's a good way to work on it slowly and try to find that feeling. To get the flams to really rock out and go fast. Now these are great to practice. This is also a drum rudiment. So most of us, if we've taken any lessons, are familiar with the idea of a flam. But a flam is a great thing to practice just because it makes you, or forces you, to put yourself in some very awkward positions when you get into it. Now a great exercise, and one that we do go over in our classes over at the Drummer's Almanac when you sign right in, is the flam beat exercise, which is taken right out of pretty much the stick control workout. And if you don't have the stick control book by George Lawrence Stone, I mean, you got to go out and get that book and become very, very familiar with it. So the idea is taking your flams and then mixing them inside of single strokes. A flam in and of itself is not so hard to do. Even if you do it as a flam tap, which is a rudiment, a flam accent, a Swiss triplet, flamacue, flamadiddle. All these different flam rudiments are all designed to put flams against a feeling of single strokes. And you could do that with this particular exercise. So let's take a look at some flam beats and how we work them in on the Drummer's Almanac class, give you an idea of how to practice this type of exercise. 1, 2, ready, go. Take these nice and slow. So you're starting with 16 notes, but you're going to make that first right hand a flam. Again, you see that red R, and that's your right flam. We're going to hold this for a nice solid minute. Get good at it. 1, 2, ready. Number 2 is the lefty lead. Okay, now same thing. You got to start with that left flam. Make sure the left hand's higher when you hit that flam. And make sure it's accurate. These are very easy to screw up. One, 2, number 3, left's getting doubles, starting with the left flam. Left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. One, 2, right leading flam taps. Okay, this is the only one we're actually going to double up those flams and put one on the middle of the phrase also. Flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, flam tap, flam tap. One, 2, number 5. Flamadiddle, flamadiddle, flam up diddle, flam up diddle, down up tap tap, down up tap tap. Now, interestingly with these, this is one of those times that you don't want to switch the flam. Keep the flam low, 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 low. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of how I like to practice flams against single strokes. Another great thing to do is practice all your flam rudiments, which we're not going to do here, we're going to do in a different lesson. But hopefully this just gives you an idea of how the flams work. So that's going to wrap up our lessons on flams. Again, remember to keep coming back here to the Drum Lesson Vault. We're adding new lessons all the time, and I hope you had a good one. I'll see you on the next time.